The illusion of the awakening, why replacing the hardware fails to delete the software. A profound misunderstanding is sweeping through the modern world regarding what it truly means to break free from the matrix. Millions of individuals feel a growing dissatisfaction with the world layout. They sense the glitches, notice the systemic corruption, and correctly identify that the current system is engineered to oppress them. However, they are falling straight into a highly sophisticated trap set by the archons, the parasitic wardens of this reality. This trap is the phenomenon of the false awakening. When an individual begins to wake up, the demiurge, false god, does not immediately try to put them back to sleep with obvious lies. Instead, the demiurge, false god, uses a much more tactical maneuver. It misdirects their newfound awareness outward, pinning the blame for their suffering entirely onto the physical layout. The trap of the external scapegoat. The world is currently flooded with teachings that promise freedom by targeting physical targets. People are led to believe that their ultimate liberation depends on defeating a visible enemy. The political and historical loop. Many assume that their only problems are corrupt local governments or the lingering structures of historical colonialists who took everything in the past and continue to oppress them. The tribal and ideological loop. Others retreat into hyper-focused cultural pride, believing that their specific tribe or race possesses the ultimate spiritual truth, while labeling other cultures or groups as entities that should be physically eliminated. In all these scenarios, the mindset remains identical. If we can just physically eliminate these external forces, all our problems will come to an end. This is the ultimate deception of the false awakening. It tricks the avatar into fighting a purely physical war, completely blinding them to the fact that the strings are being pulled from a spiritual backend. The software versus the hardware. What these movements fail to realize is that every single form of physical oppression, division, and scarcity has its absolute origin in a cosmic software program run by the demiurge false god. The wars, the racial divisions, the economic collapses, and the tribal conflicts are not accidental human failures. They are carefully coded scripts running on the matrix terminal to generate fear and anger. Trying to solve the world's problems by destroying physical institutions or attacking other groups of people is like trying to fix a broken computer program by smashing the monitor. It is a complete waste of time and energy to eliminate the hardware while leaving the malicious software completely untouched. The external world we see is merely the fruit of a deeply rooted tree, and that tree is spiritual. If you expend all your life force hacking away at the fruit while ignoring the root, the tree will simply produce more of the same bitter fruit in the next cycle. The battle has never been an external conflict against other human beings. It has always been an internal extraction of your own power. Part 2. The monadic shift. Deleting the software and reclaiming the inner temple. To move past the trap of the false awakening, a seeker must completely shift their focus from the physical hardware of the matrix to the spiritual software running behind the scenes. True liberation is not a loud, aggressive revolution against worldly rulers. It is the quiet, total reclamation of your own energy grid. This shift occurs when you stop functioning as a reactive avatar controlled by the archons, and instead step onto the path of the monad, true God. The monad, true God, represents your original, uncompromised divine spark that exists completely outside the rules, limits, and timelines of this artificial simulation. When you begin to live from this original frequency, the entire nature of your daily struggle changes. Breaking the loops of reactivity. The demiurge, false god, designed the matrix to be a mirror maze of constant distraction. It deliberately manufactures political chaos, economic bottlenecks, and cultural friction for a single reason: to extract your life force through your emotional reactions. When you get angry at a corrupt government, or when you feel hatred toward another tribe or race, you are handing your divine power straight over to the system. The archons harvest that intense anger and fear, using it as fuel to keep the simulation running. The monad, true God, does not fight these external distractions. Instead, it practices absolute emotional neutrality. When you look at the chaos of the world and recognize it as empty code running to steal your peace, you simply refuse to react. By keeping your internal waters completely still, you break the extraction loop. The software can no longer control an avatar that refuses to feed it. Upgrading from moral judgments to energetic integrity. The false awakening keeps people trapped in the illusion of superiority, making them believe they belong to a better religion, race, or ideological group. This is a classic division tactic used by the demiurge false god to keep human beings fighting amongst themselves so they never look up at the warden. The monad, true god, does not operate on the rules of worldly morality or tribal division. It operates strictly on frequency and resonance. A person walking the true spiritual path does not see the world through the lens of us versus them. They realize that every human avatar is either a sleeping battery controlled by the software or a waking spark trying to remember its true home. Instead of trying to change, judge, or eliminate other people, the sovereign individual focuses entirely on maintaining the purity of their own internal firewall. They protect their thoughts, conserve their creative energy, and refuse to participate in the chaotic scripts of the Matrix. The Internal Authority Protocol. The ultimate difference between a false awakening and a true monadic awakening is where you place your authority. The false awakening is always waiting for something external to change, waiting for a new government, waiting for a historical correction, or waiting for a savior loop to fix the layout. The monad, true god, knows that you are the ultimate authority over your own terminal. You do not need the matrix to change or give you permission to be free. By centering your awareness within your own internal core, you become an independent, self-contained circuit. You fulfill your daily duties with calm neutrality, but your spirit remains completely untouched by the system's manipulation. You stop trying to smash the monitor, and you simply delete the program from your life. Written on May 19, 2026, by John